Engineers and developers are still popular. I mean, really popular. Across the country popular. And are there really layoffs coming in the mobile world? And let's talk about Detroit just one more time. I'm Mark Pfeffer, and this is the DICE News Update for Tuesday, March 29th, 2011. Companies across the country are still trying to find solid engineers and developers. In Silicon Valley, it's become so tough that they're wooing people through things like mixers and other social events, and startups have become particularly aggressive in trying to find people through universities like Stanford and UC Berkeley. In New York, startups like Gilt Group, Etsy, Foursquare, Tumblr, Intent Media, and Rent the Runway are all fighting for the best talent. So are media companies like NBC Universal, News Corp, Time Warner, and AOL. The three main shortages in New York: Wired says they're engineers and programmers, online marketing people who really understand analytics, and product developers. I know that we've talked about Detroit before, and I know from your emails and comments that there's not a lot of people buying that there's opportunities out there, but there are. And after watching Eminem's Chrysler commercial on YouTube the other day, this would be the really cool one that they showed at the Super Bowl, I decided to talk about Detroit one more time. See, Ford and General Motors are having problems finding the kind of people they need. In particular, they need experts in cloud computing, mobile software development, and people who know their way around energy management. They are trying to recruit from local schools and universities. They are finding people there, but not enough to fill all the positions that they've got open. So I am just saying. For those of you who are working in mobile apps development, I have good news and I have bad news. And let's get the bad news out of the way first. And we'll start with the proposed takeover of T-Mobile by AT&T. AT&T is hoping to get about $3 billion in cost savings out of the deal. And it says that some of those savings will come from what it calls natural attrition. But there's a lot of analysts who say there's no way AT&T is going to meet its goals without imposing layoffs. In fact, there's one who says that probably half the jobs lost are going to come through layoffs. The people in the most danger are those who are working in the back office. All right, so what about Nokia, which is abandoning its own OS in favor of Microsoft's Windows Phone Mobile OS? Well, next month the company is going to start talks with employees about job losses. It doesn't have any specifics. But remember, Nokia is a Finnish company, and it says this is a global restructuring. So that means some of the layoffs are bound to come in the United States. On the other hand, the Microsoft-Nokia partnership is a windfall to the developers who are already in the highest demand. The companies need them for desktop, web apps, iOS, Windows 7, and Android products. And remember HP? It recently said that it's going to build an app store for both mobile devices and the desktop. In fact, it plans to include WebOS on every PC that it ships in 2012. So obviously it's really serious, and it's probably going to need help. So that's the story. That's it for this week. Kat Miller's going to be back tomorrow with another edition of DICE TV, and I'm going to be back next Tuesday. Until then, I'm Mark Pfeffer, the managing editor of DICE News, and we now return you to your regular desktop.